Hi, class. I hope that you're having a great day today. First, we're going to start off with the problem of the day. It says the prices of snacks at the ball game are shown in the table. What is the total price of 9 bags of peanuts? Write 2 equations to show the total price of 9 bags of peanuts. So I want you to try this on your own. Be sure to press the pause button so that you'll have a chance to solve it on your own before I start going through it with you. So press pause. Okay, now that you've solved the problem, now I'm going to help you to solve this problem as well. Okay, here, when you look in the table, remember I said you need to read all the words. So this is for the snacks. So we have popcorn, peanuts, and pretzels, and then we have the price of each one. So popcorn is $2, peanuts is $3, and pretzels are $4. But remember, because we need to follow the steps, we need to make sure that, first of all, we restate the question. And the question is, what is the total price of 9 bags of peanuts? So therefore, you should have written the total. It may take me a while to write it because it's kind of hard to write with my mouse on my computer here. But you will write the total price of 9 bags of peanuts is blank. And then don't forget to put your period at the end of your sentence as well. Okay? Now let's go back and find the key information. All right, first of all, the key information that we need is to find the total price of 9 bags of peanuts. And then we need to write 2 equations to show the total price of the 9 bags of peanuts. So there's 2 parts to this, and we need to make sure we do each part. So over here, I'm going to write 2 equations. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that I won't forget to do it, because that's part of the directions. And remember, if we want our full amount of points, we have to do each part. All right, so when we look at the table, there's some information there that we need to underline or highlight as well. And that would be the peanuts and the cost of the peanuts, which is $3. And that's $3 just for 1 bag of peanuts. All right, so the question is, how are we going to find the total price of 9 bags of peanuts? So we must have even had a big group of people there, or either we're mighty hungry. But anyway, if we're going to show 9 bags of peanuts, that's our picture for the key information. I could draw 9 rectangles or 9 circles, 9 triangles, whatever it was that you drew. It should have been 9 of them. So each one of these circles that I'm drawing is going to represent 1 bag of peanuts. So right now I have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then I've shown that. Now the next thing is the price. I need to show the price. So the price is $3. So it's $3 for this bag, Then it's $3 for this bag, $3 for each and every bag. So I'm just going to write the number 3 inside of each bag, because the 3 that I'm writing is represent the amount of dollars. And the question is, what is the total price? So if this one was 3, this one was 3, this one is 3, this one is 3, what are we doing? Yes, we're adding, but we're also doing what? We're multiplying. And the reason why we're multiplying is because we're using repeated addition, because we have the same number that's repeating over and over and over and over again. So the two equations that we can write would be 3 plus 3, and we will keep adding 3, and we will add 3 how many times? Yes, we will add 3 9 times. So this will be one of the equations right now that I'm writing. So you should have had this as well on your paper. So right now that's 6 3s, so I need to write 3 more of them. All right, so that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I need one more 3. And then I need to add all those 3's together. So here, 3 plus 3 equals 6. Then we'll say 3 plus 3 again equals 6. And then 3 plus 3 again equals 6. And then 3 plus 3 again equals 6. And then plus 3 more. So now we're adding all the 6's together. Or you could have said 3 plus 3 equals 6, then 6 plus 3 equals 9, and 9 plus 3, and you could have kept going that way as well. But 6 plus 6 is 12. And then 12 plus 6 more equals 18. And then 18 plus the 6 plus 3 right here, which is 9. So now 18 plus 9 equals 27. All right, so the total price of 9 bags of peanuts is $27. So I'll write 27 in the blank. But I'm not done, because remember I need 2 equations and I only wrote 1. So the next equation, because we said this is repeated addition, we look over here first to see how many groups we have. How many groups do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 groups of 3. So 9 times 3 equals 27. So that's what you should have had on your paper as well. All right. So now let's go to the next one. All right, our vocabulary words. Commutative property of multiplication. What is the commutative property? The commutative property is when we're rearranging the order of the factors in which we're multiplying. So we're just switching them around so they won't be in the same order. Zero property of multiplication is when we're multiplying one factor by 0, and we know that the answer will be 0. The identity property of multiplication is when we're multiplying a factor by the number 1, and that means that it's not going to change. So if we're multiplying 6 times 1, the 6 is going to remain a 6. It's not going to change. The distributive property, of course, that's when we decompose one of the factors, and then we're going to take the other factor and distribute it to each one of those other factors that we split apart. Your factors are your numbers that you're multiplying together. Your product, that's your answer to your multiplication problem. The quotient, that is your answer to your division problem. Your dividend is your whole amount of your total. Your divisor is the number of groups that you're dividing it into equally. And then your array, you have an equal number of columns and also rows. So now the essential question is, what strategies can I use to divide? So think about what strategies we use to divide. Okay, we use repeated subtraction, we can use groups, and we can also use an array. Those have been the strategies that we've been using in order to divide. And yes, some of you may have said we could use the inverse operation to figure out what the answer could be as well, and that is also true. So think about when you might use division at home or in the community. So if you have some people over and you want to make sure that they have the same amount of slices of pizza, that would be an example of when you could use division. If your parents want to share some money between you and a sibling to make sure you all get an equal amount of money, that you could do that as well. Now we're going to use ropes and the steps to solve the word problem below. Says the third grade class needs 50 juice bars. How many boxes of juice bars will they need if there are 10 bars in each box? All right, so the first thing we want to do is restate the question. And the question is, how many boxes of juice bars will they need if there are 9 bars in each box? So we need to restate that. So you would say they will need blank boxes of juice bars. All right, then once you have restated the question, the next part is you look for key information. So the key information would be that they need 50 juice bars and that there's 10 bars in each box, and we need to know how many boxes. So let's look at the numbers that we have boxed in. We have 50 and then we have 10. Well, if the class needs 50 juice bars, that 50 will be the whole amount. So that's the total, the whole amount or the total. The 10 bars, that's the number that's in each group. Because it's already telling you how many is in each box. So the 10 bars is the number in each group. Now I want you to think about when we write a division problem and what each one of those numbers mean when we write them. So remember, we have blank divided by blank equals blank. And each one of these numbers have a special name. The first number, remember, is called the dividend. And the dividend tells us the total amount of something. Then our second number that we write is called the divisor. And the divisor tells us the number of equal groups. Sorry about that. The number of equal groups. It erases every time I go back. Okay, I'm going to pick back up from where I stopped. But however, okay, give me just a second. All right, there we go. I'm not going to rewrite what I had up here, but I am going to rewrite this part. So where we had the blank divided by blank equals blank. And then we know the 50 juice bars, that's what they need. That's the total amount. We said that. So I'm just going to put T for total. The 10 bars, that was the number that's in each group. So remember that. All right, and so remember for our first number, like I was saying, that's your dividend. So that tells us the total amount. And then divided by, that's the number of equal groups here. So these are the groups. So I'm just going to put G for groups. And then we have the amount that's in each group. So this is the number that's in each group. So if I was to think about this and how I needed to write those numbers in here, it would be, first of all, our total amount. And our total amount is 50. So I will write 50 divided by the number of groups. But do we know the number of groups yet? No, that's what we're trying to find out. So I'm just going to put an X there. And then we know that, that there are 10 in each box. So 50 divided by something will give us 10, which is the number that's in each group. All right, so we need to figure out what number can we put there in order to get 10 as our answer here. So there are several things that we can do. We could take 50 and we could use repeated subtraction. Since we know that there's 10 bars in each box, we could say 50 minus 10. And we would just keep subtracting 10 until we get to 0. All right, so 50 minus 10 equals 40. So we did that one time. So we come over here and we're going to subtract it again. So 40 minus 10 more bars that's in another box, that would give us 30. All right, so then we go over here and we write 30 minus 10. And then that's going to give us 20. But we still haven't made it to 0 yet. So then we're going to take the 20 and then we're going to subtract 10 again. And then that's going to give us the difference of 10, but we're still not at 0. So now we're going to take that 10 and we're going to subtract 10. Now we have a difference of 0. So we're done subtracting. So in order to get our answer for X, which is our own unknown, we count how many times we subtracted 10. And we subtracted 10 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So that means that our answer is 5. So we would need to buy 5 boxes of juice bars in order to have a total amount of 50, in order to make sure everybody in the 3rd grade class was able to get a juice bar. Okay? Okay, here's another example. We're going to solve it the same way. We're going to look for key information, restate the question, draw a picture, do whatever it is that we need to do in order to get our answer. So here, it says, I'm going to try to use another pen color too. It says a quarterback threw the football for a total of 70 yards. Each time he threw the ball, the team gained 10 yards. How many throws did the quarterback make? Write a division sentence with a symbol for the unknown. And remember, your symbol can be a letter, your symbol can be a question mark, your symbol could be a rectangle, or whatever you want it to be. But first, let's restate the question. How many throws did a quarterback make? So how would you restate that question? Who are we talking about? Okay, so that's your subject. So the quarterback So we're going to say the quarterback, and I'm sorry that this looks horrible, but this is the best that I can write with this on my computer, but hopefully this will help you. All right, so the quarterback made blank throws. And then we need a period at the end because this is a telling statement here. So we've taken care of that question. Then our next part that we have to do is write a division sentence with a symbol for the unknown. So we have to remember to do that part. All right, so down here I'm just going to put DS so I can remember that I need to write my division sentence. Okay, so let's find our key information. The key information would be total of 70 yards, and that each time he threw it, they gained 10 yards. So it's like, okay, we already know the total, right? So when we write our division sentence, we always write the total first. So we're going to write 70 divided by, and then remember the next number tells us the number of equal groups, and then the last number tells us the number in each group. Okay, so we would say 70 divided by, because he gained 10 each time. So we're trying to figure out how many throws he actually did. All right, so we could do that using repeated subtraction. So we would say 70 minus 10, and we could keep on subtracting 10 until we get to 0. So when you separate it like this, guys, it really lets you see how many times you needed to subtract instead of trying to put everything under itself. So you just keep going. Just make another separate number sentence so you won't get confused with the number of times you needed to subtract with your repeated addition. All right, so 70 divided by 10 equals, and then we'll know by however many times we use repeated subtraction. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer is 7. The quarterback made 7 throws. Okay, so that's what you will be doing today for your lesson as far as your independent work. So this is just guided practice here. This is in your math book. So when you open your math book, and I'll give you the page number in a minute, but you would use repeated subtraction to divide. So here they gave you a number line. So you would start at 90. And if it says divided by 10, that means you go back by 10, and then you look to see how many times you went back by 10 to get the 0. So that would be 1 time, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means that the answer is 9. So 90 divided by 10 equals 9. If I wanted to check division, remember I use multiplication. And when I check, I go from the end all the way back to the beginning. So if I was to check this, I would say 9 times 10 equals 90. So remember that. You start with the number on the end and you work your way back in order to check. So here now we have 40 divided by 10. So that means that we would start with 40 and we would subtract 10. So 40 minus 10. And if you look on the number line, it's going by tens. So we start at 40, go back 10 one time, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is 4. So 40 divided by 10 equals 4. We check that with multiplication. We start on the end and we work our way this way to the beginning. So to check it, we will say 4 times 10 equals 40. All right. And then for the last one, we have 60 divided by 10 to use repeated subtraction. So 60 minus 10 equals 50. And then we had to do it again. So 50 minus 10 equals 40. So 40 is my answer. So I'm going to take 40 and subtract 10 again. So that's going to give me 30. So then I need to write my next number sentence, which would be 30 minus 10 equals 20. Then I'm going to write another number sentence. So 20 minus 10 equals 10. And then I write another number sentence. 10 minus 10 equals 0. So I'm done subtracting. So now I look to see how many times I use repeated subtraction. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my quotient is 6. And I can check my answer by using the inverse operation, which would be multiplication. I start on the end and I go to the beginning. So I start with this number, which is 6 times 10 equals 60. Okay. Now for your independent work, you need to take out your math book and you're going to do page 347 and 348. You're going to do the even ones. So remember even, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So you count by twos. And on the back, on page 348, you need to do numbers 14, 15, and 16. When you finish your independent work, you can work on MobyMax assignments that I assign to you. So make sure you go to the Assignments tab and do any of those that has to do with multiplication and division. And be sure to work quietly and to follow the directions from the sub, because she's your teacher today. So you need to make sure you're following SOAR expectations. Okay? All right. So now you can press pause, or either you can turn the video all the way off. And if you don't have your book, here we have the pages here for those of you that don't have the book, and you can look on these 2 pages to find the answers. Well, not the answers, but to find the problem so that you can find the answers. So you can press pause at this point so that you can see what the pages are and what the questions are. Okay, so like I was saying, have a good day. And then at 10 o'clock, you can start shutting down, and make sure you put the computers back on the laptop cart and plug them in so that they can charge, because you're going to have some other assignments that you have to do today using the computer, and you want to make sure that your computers are not dead. So have a great day.